Have you ever met someone that notices every little detail and makes life run smoothly without expecting an applause? Well, that's Virgo, practical, precise, and secretly sentimental. But there's more to the sign than just love for order. In today's video, we're going to discuss everything Virgo, so let's dive in. So when we think about Virgo, we can't help but to admire how they seem to hold everything together without breaking a sweat. There's this calmness about them, a kind of quiet strength that makes you feel like things are going to be okay. Virgos have this amazing ability to see the world not just as it is, but how it could be, which is better, kinder, and of course more organized. Their attention to detail is completely sharp. It's almost like a superpower. They're the ones that notice that there's a tiny typo, or remember that you prefer oat milk in your coffee without you having to say it. It's not about being controlling, it's about genuinely caring. Every thoughtful text, every plan they make, every time they go out of their way to help, it's their way of saying, I see you and I care for you. Hi, I'm Lisa Schneider, a tropical Western astrologer, and I would love to see you here again. So if you like these type of videos, be sure to like and subscribe below to see future videos and weekly updates. All right, so let's have a chat about Virgo's personality. Virgos have a practical side that makes them feel a safe harbor in a storm. They like routines and they like a plan, and they find comfort in knowing what is coming next. Surprises, not really their thing. It's not about being controlling, it's about feeling safe and prepared. And that's why they're often the ones with emergency kits in their cars or spreadsheets on their holiday budgets. It's how they manage chaos in life by bringing a little bit of order to it. And that's exactly why everyone needs a Virgo in their life. But the thing about Virgos is that their practicality isn't cold or detached. It's actually one of the ways they show up and care. So when they organize your messy schedule or remind you to back up your files, it's not about being bossy. It's their way of genuinely helping. And when they give their advice, it's never about proving that they're right. It's about making your life a little bit better. They genuinely want to be useful. Sure, they can seem a little bit blunt sometimes, and yeah, they may get a little bit stressed out over the tiniest details. But at the end of the day, that's only because they want to help and they see the potential everywhere, in themselves and you, and everything around them. In the end, loving a Virgo means appreciating the way that they show up, the way that they remember the small things, the way that they keep their promises, and the way that they never stop trying to make things better. Their love isn't flashy or dramatic, but it's woven into the little acts of service, thoughtful questions, and the way they listen without even interrupting. To really understand Virgo is to see that every suggestion, every fix, every have you thought about doing things this way comes from a place of genuine care. Their love may be quiet, but it's real, it's steady, and it's the kind of love that makes you feel safe, seen, and truly cared for. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, intellect, and information. But while Mercury's influence makes Gemini love chatting and exploring new ideas, maybe just for the thrill of it, Virgo's approach is a little bit different. Virgo's Mercury is all about listening carefully, analyzing the details, and making sure that the facts are straight before saying anything. So for Virgos, it's not about talking a lot. It's about making sure that what they say actually matters. So when a Virgo speaks, it's because they've thought things through and every angle has something useful to add. And that's why their advice is usually spot on, practical, straightforward, and exactly what you need to hear, even if it's not what you want to hear. So for Virgo, getting things right isn't about being perfect. It's all about genuinely being helpful and making things better. So Mercury's influence also gives Virgo a natural talent for problem solving and organization. They have this amazing ability to sift through a ton of information, picking out all the useful parts and turning them into clear, actionable steps. So whether it's planning an event, troubleshooting a project at work, or helping a friend figure out their next move, Virgos have a knack for breaking things down into manageable pieces. It's like they have this internal checklist that helps them sort things out through the chaos and to bring order to it. This is why they're often seen as the reliable and capable friend. So when a Virgo's on it, you know things are going to be done right. But of course, this attention to detail can sometimes make them seem a little bit picky. And it's not that they're trying to find fault. They just genuinely can't help but notice what could be improved. And if a Virgo tells you that your shirt is wrinkled before a big meeting, they're not trying to embarrass you. They just want you to look the best and be the best because they care. It's their way of showing love and support. But their honesty can sometimes come off as a little bit harsh and prickly, even if they don't mean it that way. So learning how to soften their delivery and how to give advice in a way that doesn't sting is something that many Virgos have to work on throughout their lives. And that same eye for spotting mistakes in others can also be turned inward. They're constantly seeing what they could have done better, replaying old conversations or second-guessing their choices. This is where Mercury's analytical side can be a double-edged sword. So while it helps them find solutions, it can also lead to overthinking and perhaps a little bit of self-doubt. So for Virgo, learning to balance this careful analysis with a little bit of self-compassion is also a lifelong lesson. But at the end, Virgo's Mercury is about using intelligence and communication to help and serve, not showing off to win arguments, but to make things better. Their goal is always to fix what is broken and to make life run a little smoother. And of course, to help the people that they genuinely care about. It might come off as a little bit picky sometimes, but behind every suggestion and every bit of advice is a genuine desire to help people and to help things run more smoothly. And that's what makes Virgo's approach to Mercury so unique. It's not about information. It's about making information useful and helpful in the real world. So, of course, if you are a Virgo or know of a Virgo and perhaps resonate with all of this that I'm speaking about, comment below and let me know. All right, let's discuss Virgo's modality and element. Virgo is a mutable sign, which means they are adaptable, but it's not being chaotic. All mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius, and even Pisces, handle change well, but each does it slightly differently. For Virgo, adaptability is practical and grounded. They adjust to things just to make things work better, not for the thrill of something new. Their flexibility isn't about being indecisive. It's about being able to see what needs to be done and doing it calmly without a lot of drama. But this ability to adjust can also make them prone to overthinking. Virgos can get stuck in what is often called analysis paralysis, where they weigh up every option so carefully that they end up getting stuck. It's not that they can't decide. They just want to make sure that they're doing everything and making the best possible choice. Virgos is also an earth sign, which explains why they're so absolutely grounded and practical. The other earth signs are Taurus and Capricorn, and they're all about results. But while Taurus loves luxury and Capricorn aims for status, Virgo wants things to just work. They're not about being impressed by fancy titles or big talk. They just want to see actual practical results. That's why they show love through acts of service. They're the ones who'll cook your favorite dinner when you're stressed out or clean up when your apartment is a mess and perhaps you feeling overwhelmed. They won't necessarily be the one to say, I love you every 5 minutes, but they'll make sure that you have a charger for your phone and your favorite tea is in the cupboard. So for Virgo, love isn't about being grand and showing grand gestures. It's about showing up and making your life a little bit easier. All right, so let's speak about Virgo's glyph, that little M with a loop. Some say that this loop represents modesty and introspection, the ability to turn inwards and reflect, while others see it as a sheaf of wheat, symbolizing the harvest of service and the act of separating what is useful from what is. Either way, it captures Virgo's essence perfectly. The sheaf of wheat connects directly to the symbol of the Virgin, not in the sense of innocence, but in the sense of purity and purpose. The Virgin archetype speaks to Virgo's ability to be self-sufficient and focused. They don't need to be in the spotlight. Instead, they find fulfillment in doing things well, in making life better for others around them, and knowing that their efforts have made a difference, even perhaps if nobody sees it. This sense of modesty means they're the happiest working behind the scenes and making sure that everything is running smoothly without even needing credit for it. They're the ones to throw you a surprise birthday party and deflect from every single compliment. They're the ones who'll edit your presentation to perfection without mentioning how long it took. Or perhaps to stay up late and finish the work that everyone has left behind. But this modesty also means that Virgos often don't get the recognition that they perhaps deserve. So they're so busy being reliable and sorting out everyone else's lives and fixing problems before they become disasters that they really stop and ask for a little bit of appreciation themselves. And it's not like they don't want to be acknowledged. They do. It's just that they don't want to ask for it. They're more likely to brush off the praise with, "it was nothing," or change the subject entirely. But deep down, though, they love to hear, "thank you, I appreciate that." The Virgin archetype also ties into Virgo's need for clarity, simplicity, and even efficiency. They have an absolute knack for cutting through the noise, for seeing the essential. That's why they're good for decluttering, whether it's cleaning out a closet or helping a friend figure out what really matters in a messy situation. This ability to sort and refine and to focus on what's useful is a part of their magic. And in the end, Virgo's true gift is their ability to serve without seeking recognition. Their love is woven into the little things, into the thoughtful text, into the remembered detail, into the advice that actually was helpful. They may not make grand gestures, but their love is absolutely real. It's steady, and it's the kind of love that makes life a little bit easier and a little bit better and a lot more meaningful. So to love a Virgo is to appreciate that their quiet devotion is real, and to see the beauty in the way that they notice what others miss, and to understand that behind every suggestion, every "let me help you with that," it's just a heart that wants to make things right. Okay, so now we're going to discuss the best part, and we're going to discuss Virgo through all the different houses of the zodiac. So just remember, you may not have a personal planet in Virgo. So you may not have your Sun in Virgo, your Moon, your Mars, your Venus in Virgo, but you still have Virgo somewhere operating in your zodiac belt. So we're going to go through it, and this is where the energies are going to play out. So let me know how Virgo is playing out in your life. And if you like this kind of content, please feel free to like and subscribe and perhaps share to anyone that may appreciate it. Let's start. So Virgo in the first. So the first house represents how one presents themselves to the world, their identity, appearance, and the first impression that they give. So when Virgo occupies the first house, it creates an impression of someone who is grounded, practical, and detail-orientated. So people with this placement often appear very composed and organized, with a strong sense of personal self, responsibility, and duty. They're not the ones to seek the spotlight, and they prefer to let their actions speak for themselves. and their appearance might go towards lean and clean and simple, and they're very, very well put together. They avoid anything too flashy or even too chaotic. They're often seen as relatable and approachable. So someone that instinctively you could turn for help or advice. However, the strong sense of duty can sometimes lead to a little bit of self-criticism. The rising individuals have a good eye for detail that doesn't just focus outward. They're constantly noticing their own flaws and areas of self-improvement. So health and daily routines are also very significant with this placement, and it often leads to focus on nutrition, fitness, and holistic well-being. So learning to accept their imperfections in themselves and in others is a lifelong lesson for Virgo in the first house. So if you have Virgo in the first house, or perhaps know of anyone with Virgo in the first house, drop me a line below and let me know how it's going. So Virgo in the second house. So the second house governs money, material possessions, and how one values themselves and their resources. And with Virgo in the second house, there is a strong practical and cautious approach to finances. So individuals with this placement are usually excellent at budgeting and managing money. They prefer to save for a rainy day than to splurge impulsively. Their purchases tend to be well thought out and intentional. Quality over quantity is the mantra here. There's a strong appreciation for well-made and functional items rather than anything that is too frivolous or even showy. This placement often brings a knack for managing resources efficiently, whether that's through investing wisely or simply finding the best deals. However, Virgo's influence here can also create a strong tendency to equate self-worth with productivity and financial stability. So these individuals might feel the most confident when they're working hard and achieving tangible results. Their value system is also practical and service-orientated, often focusing on helping others and making a difference through their work. They learn through appreciating themselves and for who they are, not just for what they can do for others and how much they earn. And this is a significant part of their personal journey. So if you have Virgo in the second house or know of anyone with Virgo in the second house, drop me a line below and let me know how it's going for you. Virgo in the third house. The third house is all about communication, intellect, and close relationships, particularly with siblings and neighbors. So a Virgo in the third house brings a sharp mind and a love for learning. People with this placement communicate very, very clearly and precisely, preferring facts over the fluff. Their writing and speech tend to be very, very well organized and often in touch with wit and even dry humor. They're the ones who can spot a typo from a mile away or remember obscure facts with ease. Conversations with them are usually very informative and practical, and they want to share their knowledge in a way that's actually useful. This particular placement also suggests a deep love for reading and research, often with a focus on self-improvement or technical subjects. However, Virgo's influence can also make them overly critical on how they communicate, and this could lead to a tendency of overthinking or even what to say or write. There's a fear of making mistakes or being misunderstood, which can sometimes hold them back from sharing their ideas freely. So learning to relax and communicate without worrying about every single detail is a key lesson for Virgo in the third house. So if you have Virgo in the third house or know of anyone with Virgo in the third house, drop me a line below and let me know how it's going for you. So let's discuss Virgo in the fourth house. The fourth house represents home, life, family, roots, and emotional security. So with Virgo in the fourth house, home is a sanctuary that needs to be clean, organized, and functional. These individuals often find comfort in routine and well-kept living spaces. They're the ones who thrive on decluttering projects or feel instantly calmer after tidying up. There's a strong focus on simplicity and being minimalistic. So no excessive clutter is just what's needed for them. Home-cooked meals, natural materials, and practical decor are likely to appeal to these individuals. And in family dynamics, they often play the role of the caretaker or even the problem solver. They're the ones who keep track of everyone's appointments, remember birthdays, and handle the little details that keep everything running absolutely smoothly. However, this can lead sometimes to taking on too much or becoming completely overwhelmed by trying to manage everything for everybody. So learning to ask for help and let go of perfectionism is crucial for their journey. So if you have Virgo in the fourth or know of anyone with Virgo in the fourth, drop me a line below and let me know if this resonates with you. So Virgo in the fifth house. The fifth house is all about self-expression, creativity, and romance, and of course the joys of life. So Virgo's influence in the fifth house brings a practical approach to creativity and romance. Rather than wild spontaneity, they express their love and creativity through thoughtful details and meaningful actions. So in relationships, they show their care by remembering the little things. So that's how you take your coffee, your favorite book, or a problem that's mentioned in passing. And this practical approach can sometimes make them a little bit hesitant in romance, sometimes coming off as a little bit reserved or even a little bit picky. They want things to be just right, and they may hold back until they are completely sure about things. And in creative pursuits, they can be their best and worst critics, scrapping projects that don't meet their high standards or pushing things aside that are too messy. So learning to embrace imperfection and take creative risks without over-analyzing is a key challenge with Virgo in the fifth house. So if you have Virgo in the fifth house or know of anyone with Virgo in the fifth house, let me know how this resonates with you below. All right, so Virgo in the sixth house. So the sixth house rules over health, daily work, service, and routines. And with Virgo in the sixth house, the focus is on health, work, and daily routines is absolutely amplified. So these individuals thrive on structured schedules and find satisfaction in productivity and efficiency. They're the ones who meticulously organized their planners. They color code their spreadsheets, and their meal prep routines are above and beyond. Health and wellness is a major focus for them. So exercise, nutrition, and holistic wellness practices often appeal to them. The downside is a tendency to stress over the smallest things, leading to burnout or even anxiety if they don't manage their workload properly. And there's also a risk of being too critical, both of themselves and to others, when things aren't done absolutely to their standard. And the lesson here is to find the balance between productivity and learning that sometimes good is good enough. So do you have Virgo in the sixth house, or do you know of anyone with Virgo in the sixth house? If so, drop me a line below and let me know how it's going for you. So let's discuss Virgo in the seventh house. So the seventh house is all about partnerships, marriage, and how one relates to one in close or one-on-one relationships. So with Virgo in the seventh house, there's a strong desire for relationships that are grounded, practical, and mutually supportive. These individuals look for a partner that they can truly rely on, someone who keeps their promises and who understands the value of the little things. So acts of service are their love language, and they show this by doing thoughtful things and making sure their partner's favorite snacks are always in the cupboard, or by helping them organize their chaotic schedules. However, Virgo's influence here can also make them a little bit picky or overly cautious when it comes to commitments. They're not the one to dive headfirst in relationships. Instead, they take their time and assess whether a potential partnership truly aligned with their values and goals. And in relationships, they have a tendency to offer advice, even when it's not asked for, simply because they want to help. And this can sometimes come off as overly critical, even though it's coming from a place of genuine care. So learning to soften their approach and appreciate the imperfect side of love is a key lesson for Virgo in the 7th house. So do you have Virgo in the 7th house or know of anyone with Virgo in the 7th house? If you do, drop me a line below and let me know how this resonates with you. So Virgo in the 8th house. So the 8th house governs intimacy, shared resources, secrets, and even transformation. And with Virgo in the 8th house, there's a cautious approach to sharing resources, both from a financial and emotional point of view. So these individuals need to feel safe and secure before they open up fully, preferring to build trust slowly and carefully. And when it comes to finance, they are often meticulous about their joint accounts, investments, and managing debts, often taking the lead in budgeting and financial planning in the partnerships. There's also a deep need to understand the mysteries of life through a practical lens. So whether it's psychology, finances, or even forensic science, Virgos in the 8th house wants to uncover the truth without the drama. The downside is a tendency to overly worry about the worst case scenario or to be reluctant to trust others fully, fearing that things might fall apart if they're not fully in control. So learning to share both resources and feeling fear without falling apart is a key to their transformative journey. So let me know below if you have Virgo in the 8th house or know of anyone with Virgo in the 8th house, and let me know if any of this resonates with you. So Virgo in the 9th house. So the 9th house is all about beliefs, philosophy, long-distance travel, and higher learning. So with Virgo here, there's a practical approach to exploring the world at large, both physically and intellectually. Travel plans are likely to involve detailed itineraries, research destinations, and probably a backup plan or even two. There's a love for learning, but it's practical knowledge that draws them in. Things that can be applied to real-life scenarios, like language, technical skills, or even nutrition. And in terms of beliefs, Virgo in the 9th prefers facts over blind faith. They are definitely not satisfied with broad ideas. They want to know details, proof, and logic in all their arguments. And this come off a little bit skeptical or overly analytical in discussions about spirituality or even philosophy. However, when they find their belief system that resonates, they are committed and thorough in their studies. The challenge is to balance their need for evidence with an openness that can't be measured or even proven. So do you have Virgo in the 9th house or know of anyone with Virgo in the 9th house? And let me know if any of this perhaps resonates with you. So Virgo in the 10th house. So the 10th house represents career, public life, and reputation. And with Virgo here, there's a strong drive to build a career that's meaningful and useful. So these individuals are often seen as competent, reliable, and detail-orientated in their professional lives. They are often the one who will stay up late and triple-check the numbers, edit the report, or make sure that every teeny tiny detail of a project is absolutely correct. Their reputation is built on consistency and high work ethics, and they're not afraid of doing less glamorous tasks if it helps their team to succeed. However, Virgo's influence can also lead to perhaps working too hard or even burnout, particularly if they struggle to delegate their tasks properly. And there's a strong tendency to believe that if they want something done right, they have to do it all themselves. So learning to trust others, delegate, and step back without micromanaging is a crucial lesson here. So Virgo in the 10th house thrive in careers that require precision and a focus on service, such as healthcare, project management, or anything that involves organizing or improving systems. So do you have Virgo in the 10th house, or know anyone with Virgo in the 10th house? And if you do, let me know how all of this resonates with you below. So Virgo in the 11th house. The 11th house governs friendships, social groups, and even long-term goals. And with Virgo in the 11th house, there's a preference for small or even close, reliable friends over a large social network. They're the ones to organize group trips with detailed spreadsheets. Remember everyone's birthday and offer practical advice to their friends when they need it. Their approach to friendship is thoughtful and sincere. They're not interested in superficial connections at all and prefer close and real friendships. And in terms of hopes and dreams, Virgo's influence means that their goals are likely to be practical and well-planned, rather than overly ambitious or even idealistic. They want to make a tangible difference in the world, and often through service or even volunteering. However, this focus on being useful can sometimes make them downplay their dreams, putting others' needs first, and putting their needs on the back burner. So learning to embrace their own aspirations without feeling guilty is a big part of their journey in this lifetime. So do you have Virgo in the 11th house, or know of anyone who has Virgo in this house? And if so, let me know if any of this resonates with you below. Virgo in the 12th house. So the 12th house represents spirituality, the subconscious, hidden fears, and the parts of ourselves that we often keep very, very quiet and private. So with Virgo in the 12th house, there's a tendency to be incredibly self-critical, particularly about things that others may not even notice. These individuals are often their own worst critics, holding themselves to impossibly high standards in their private lives. They may struggle with perfectionism behind closed doors, even when they perhaps appear relaxed to others. And there's also a deep need for spiritual practices, bringing a sense of order and peace. So meditation, yoga, journaling, or even acts of service is a way to connect with something bigger than themselves. And Virgo's influence here can make them excellent at seeing the flaws in systems, which can lead to a desire to heal or work behind the scenes in service roles. The challenge here is learning to be gentle on themselves and to let go of the need for everything to be absolutely perfect. So accepting imperfection as a part of the human experience is a crucial lesson for anyone with Virgo in the 12th house. So do you have Virgo in the 12th house, or perhaps know of someone with Virgo in the 12th house? And if you do, let me know below how this resonates with you.